Are you intrigued by the incredible technology behind ChatGPT but afraid it might be too complicated for you to understand? Well, fear not, because in this video, we'll break down the science behind ChatGPT in the simplest terms possible. We'll explain what ChatGPT is and how it generates responses that sound so human-like. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the fascinating world of ChatGPT together in a way that's easy for everyone to understand. First off, despite how magical ChatGPT might appear, it was created by human ingenuity. Just like every other useful software technology that's ever existed, ChatGPT is a computer program developed by OpenAI that is designed to answer questions using written words and create sentences that sound like they were written by a person. It belongs to an area of study called natural language processing, which aims to help computers understand and interpret human language. Natural language is the language used by humans to communicate, which includes complex and variable languages. Its study involves linguistics, cognitive psychology, and computer science. Simply put, ChatGPT is a computer that's been trained on a vast amount of text data such as books, articles, and social media posts, enabling it to make predictions about what words and phrases are likely to come next in a given sentence or conversation. Think of ChatGPT like a detective trying to solve a murder case. The detective has some clues but doesn't know who did it or how. But by gathering more clues, the detective can make a really good guess about who did it and how they did it. That's kind of like how ChatGPT predicts things based on what it's learned. It doesn't possess definitive information about the exact answer, but it endeavors to predict the most reasonable series of human language expressions that would appropriately reply to the question with remarkable precision. That's how ChatGPT offers responses to your inquiries. However, this is also why some answers appear to be highly persuasive but end up being entirely incorrect. While ChatGPT gained popularity near the end of 2022, the majority of the underlying technology has been in use for much longer, albeit with much less attention, and we'll get into that in a second. So, how does it exactly work? To start, let's try to unpack the acronyms in the word ChatGPT. The word chat simply refers to the ability for users to engage in a meaningful conversation with the computer program. The acronym GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. This is where the topic becomes a bit more technical, but there's no need to worry as we'll explain everything in simple terms. A GPT is a type of advanced artificial intelligence model that's been trained on a massive amount of data to generate text. Specifically, GPT uses a type of machine learning called transformer architecture to understand the patterns and structures of language, allowing it to generate coherent and natural-sounding sentences. To understand what transformer architecture is, think about a group of people working together to understand a story. Each person in the group reads and processes a portion of the story, and then they come together to share what they've learned and create a cohesive understanding of the story as a whole. The transformer architecture is therefore a type of neural network that's used for processing natural language data. A neural network simulates the way the human brain works by processing information through layers of interconnected nodes. Similarly, the transformer architecture works by processing multiple words at once to create a deeper understanding of the text. It then uses that understanding to generate new text or make predictions. The word generative in GPT refers to its ability to generate new text that is similar in style and structure to the text it was trained on without being explicitly programmed with rules or templates for generating text. Whereas the pre-trained aspect refers to the model's ability to be trained on a large data set of text before being fine-tuned to handle specific tasks. GPTs are language models created by OpenAI that use a vast amount of text data to generate text similar to that of humans. ChatGPT is a version of GPT 3.5, which was trained using a 45 terabyte library of text data. Although 45 terabytes might seem insignificant in comparison to storage space required for images or videos, it is substantial for text. GPT 3.5 is the third model in the GPT line of AI models, and it was preceded by GPT-2 and GPT. On March 14, 2023, GPT-4 was released, and this is expected to make ChatGPT much more powerful. So this leads us to the next question. How exactly are the GPT models trained? Generally speaking, AI models are basically pre-trained using two principal approaches, supervised and unsupervised pre-training. Under unsupervised pre-training, the model is fed with large amounts of text and it learns the statistical patterns and relationships between words in the text without the need for explicit labeling or supervision. Unsupervised learning is like a kid learning to sort fruits without being told what they are. The child discovers the similarities and differences such as color, shape, and size on their own. just as a machine learning algorithm discovers patterns and relationships in data without being explicitly told what they are. In the context of language modeling, non-supervised pre-training can be used to train a model to understand the base rules governing the structure of sentences, the meaning of words, and how words are arranged to form our natural language. This enables the model to generate coherent and meaningful text in a conversational context. This is how ChatGPT's seemingly limitless knowledge is made possible, because the developers only need to continually feed more and more data into the pre-training mechanism without having to be aware of the outputs that result from the inputs. Under supervised pre-training, the model can be fine-tuned for a specific task, such as text classification, question answering, or language translation. During fine-tuning, GPT uses labeled examples to learn to make predictions or generate outputs specific to the task. In supervised training, the model is trained on a large dataset using labeled examples of input-output pairs. For example, the AI model could be trained on a dataset of customer service conversations, where the user's questions are labeled with the appropriate responses from the customer service representative. To train the AI, questions such as "How can I reset my password?" would be provided as user input, and answers like "You can reset your password by clicking account settings on our website" would be provided as output. At this stage, human data labelers are employed to ask the model a question and then provide feedback on which answer is more appropriate for each question. This technique is called reinforcement learning with human feedback, or RLHF. This is where they can also flag any explicit or harmful words. The model then uses the feedback from the humans to improve its ability to answer questions more accurately and more like how a human would respond. This is how ChatGPT can generate human-sounding responses that are both coherent, engaging, and generally accurate. So you must be wondering, how then is ChatGPT able to reply to anything I ask in a logical and conversational manner? What exactly happens behind the scenes to make sure you get the correct response to your query? Imagine logging into ChatGPT and telling it to create a rap song in the style of 50 Cent. Next thing you know, it spits out lyrics that are so similar to what 50 Cent would write, you'd think the real 50 Cent had ghostwritten it. How did ChatGPT manage this feat? Well, it's all about the training. Think of it this way. You read your Physics 101 textbook cover to cover, so you're now a whiz at answering any question about it. How did you get so good? Because you learned the material. The same principle applies to ChatGPT. It learns. And as history has shown, with enough training, you can do almost anything. But while you might read a few hundred books in your lifetime, ChatGPT has scoured the vast expanse of the internet for its training data. This means it has likely consumed 50 Cent's lyrics among its vast trove of information. So when you ask it to write a rap song in his style, it can recognize the patterns in his lyrics and use that knowledge to predict what he would write. The key word here is predict. ChatGPT doesn't provide answers the same way we do. For example, if you ask a human what the capital of Portugal is, they might say Lisbon and consider it a fact. ChatGPT, on the other hand, tries to predict the right answer based on the data it's learned from its training dataset. So while it may not be 100% certain, it's still pretty impressive. Thanks for watching, and click here to watch our next video about how ChatGPT could make you jobless.